What is going on, Nuggets Nation and NBA fans? I am back. My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome into Nuggets Today. Let's get into a few topics here. First topic I want to cover is something that gets me so upset watching these playoff runs for every team except for ours, obviously, right now. And that is what could have been in Denver. It annoys me to say that I am genuinely upset seeing other players that played in Denver in the playoffs that we could have easily had for such small contracts. You look at the Pacers playing the Knicks right now. Pacers have Thomas Bryant, a guy that we could have used. He was on our championship team, I believe, or we played him in the championship, maybe, whatever the case was. We didn't play him when we had him. He could have been a backup center that's cheap for Jokic, which is exactly what we've been, what we needed. And that's what I've been talking about for episodes on episodes on episodes, is that Denver needed a backup center and couldn't get it. Meanwhile, we've had them. And another backup center that's in the playoffs right now that Denver had was Isaiah Hartenstein. He played during the bubble, I believe. It was the COVID year for Denver. He played his semi-decent minutes. It's funny, if you look up pictures of him, you see him immediately playing against the Clippers, which is a former team that he was on, I think, as well. He also, Denver beat the Clippers, which was funny to see. But it stinks seeing guys like that who could have been great on Denver, especially as in backup roles, on other teams thriving in the playoffs right now. I know Thomas Bryant, you could say, isn't thriving, but he's getting backup minutes for Miles Turner, which is exactly what Denver needed in this playoff run. It's funny too. I believe Bones Highland is on contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I just want to say it blows my mind that Bones Highland is not on an NBA team right now. He was phenomenal as a backup point guard for Denver. He was truly amazing, and that's somebody I would love to bring back, but I believe there was some issues with him and Jamal, if I'm not wrong, and he didn't like how his minutes, and he thinks he should have started, whatever the case may have been. He was awesome in Denver. He was a guy that I think we should have easily brought him back, and unfortunately we didn't, and I think that we still can because I believe he's a free agent this upcoming year, and I would love Bones back on Denver. Anyway, I just wanted to break that down quick, strictly because it's annoying to see these guys in their respective teams not on Denver anymore and actually playing well and getting the minutes they deserve. Hartenstein beating us especially was tough to watch. Him going on a run with the Knicks last year, he could have been such a great player, and he plays a great role, especially behind Jokic. What could have been bothers me so much. But out talking about breaking down, let's break down Denver's contracts here. I didn't realize how much money Jamal Murray will truly make after the next 2 years. He goes from 36 mil to 50 million next year to 54 million the year after that. Jokic obviously is on 51 to 55, then to 59. He deserves it. He's the best player in the world right now. A contract I want to talk about that I think Denver needs to dump is somebody I've been talking about, and that is Michael Porter Jr., obviously. 35 to 38 to 40. Denver, I believe, should shop Jamal Murray with that contract. I think when it comes to him making $54 million, a few years out of an injury, an ACL injury, he's obviously not the same player he was when he got paid. I think it's time to attempt to shop that contract if you're able to get assets for it. Not to ruin Jokic's prime, but to get assets for it. I think that maybe shop it. Try to find a point guard. If you can't, then you dump Michael Porter Jr.'s contract. I think another contract that you need to dump, especially if you want to sign people, is Zeke Naji. He's going from 8 to 7, which it's not terrible, but for a guy, unless he's going to play, then I don't think that Denver should hold on to his contract. I think they should just try to dump it now. I would take second rounders for Najee if he's not going to play. Denver has been able to draft in the second round pretty well. Why not attempt to trade Najee's contract for a few picks? Maybe a late first in this draft would still be good, even though I know GMs are saying that they're nervous for the later rounds or the later picks in the draft strictly because it's not a deep draft. But why not dump it if he's not going to get minutes? That's something I'm not understanding. Some other contracts here, Aaron Gordon, his goes up to 31, 31 million, 26, 27. Not great to see, but at the same time, he's a glue role player for Denver, and Denver shouldn't dump him at all. I think he should be one of the only starters staying. Obviously, you have Christian Brown. He's making 3, 4, and 7, but after that, you have to extend him, and they're saying 20 to 30 mil a year, which is another reason I think that you need to dump Porter. Another reason I think you need to shop Murray. Obviously, Russ's option and Dario's option. I would be happier with Russ picking up his option than Dario, strictly because it saves us $2 million compared to Dario. Dario's on a $5 mil option. Russ is on a 3.4. So I think that you have to attempt to try to persuade Dario not to take it and try to get Russ to take it, unless Dario's going to come in and play a backup big role for us. Talking about backup bigs, let's transition. Does Denver already have their backup bigs on their roster? I know it is crazy to say, but these are two guys who haven't played, so it's tough to see. But I think that if you're going to go development now, and that's something I'll get into in this next topic, if you're going to go development, then Denver might have their backup bigs on their roster. Deron Holmes, obviously, you can't say development, but he's the first guy, and he got hurt. But I think there's potential there to actually have a backup big that could shoot. And I think that he can play the 4 off the bench. And I think another sleeper is a guy like PJ Hall who can play the 5 off the bench. I mean, he's only 6'10", but I know it's G League stats, and I know last episode I covered guys like Trey Alexander, a guy like Hunter Tyson, but in the G League he put up 19, he put up 12.5, he shot decent splits. I believe he shot 30+% from the 3-point line, but that is good to see. I think when it comes to development, that is where your coach and your GM come into play. Obviously, the GM hasn't been named, but talking about the coach, we just saw our coach Denver's coach has been named, and that's David Adelman. I am not mad about it. I'm a little skeptical, but I'm not mad. He was 3-0 in the regular season in the chances that he got for Denver. He went 2 Game 7s, and I know that obviously it's not him out there playing, but he decided what sets they were running. He decided what plays they were running. He decided the lineups. The only thing that I will be upset with come next year is if Denver actually has a deeper rotation and David Adelman is not playing that rotation. I think that's the one thing they lack this year. I think that now he saw the potential in Julian Strother to actually get minutes. That is the one thing I'll be upset about. I am also going to be upset if he doesn't even attempt to play these younger guys, if he doesn't attempt to play a guy like Deron, if he doesn't attempt to play, if he's on the roster, PJ Hall, Trey Alexander, Hunter Tyson, if Denver doesn't get a deeper bench, why not try those guys out? I don't want to see the same 7-8 rotation coming out next year when there's potential for Denver to actually make some moves. Again, I think it's a good signing. I'm happy that we finally named one. And next episode, I'm going to cover way more about the presser with Stanley Kroenke and what he had said. And again, I'm not upset about it. I think it's a good move. I think that the whole thing that Kroenke said was that David Adelman had a good relationship with everybody in the locker room and he wanted to sign him before he made any other moves. And I believe the exact words were, other teams in the league were looking at him, so we decided to lock him up now. I think it's a good move. Again, I'm a little skeptical because we saw that there was some lapse in rotation. There was some defensive, assignments I didn't think were great. But at the same time, he did look good. 2 Game 7s in playoff runs with teams that probably shouldn't have made it there. And he went 3-0 in the regular season. So all we could hope for is the best. Hopefully management, we see a GM sooner than later. Hopefully we attempt to, trade for some guys. Hopefully we break some guys down, or build some guys up, get the rotation deeper. And again, I hope that I have more updates for you guys next episode. That is all from me today, Nuggets Nation. I will catch you guys soon. Thanks for checking it out.